Shalom, first and foremost, all praise and glories unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Harachakwadash, that belong to our apostles, the bishops, the elders of the great millstone, and greetings, salutations, blessings, much love unto you, hopeful elect. Your brother Shaquat with a video here. Just want to get into this as we're in the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay. I just want to do a little bit on it, and as I was meditating on it, um, it it made me think of the different estates that our people are in. Okay, or maybe that's not the right way to say it. The different estates of where we came. As I read this, you'll understand. But as we came out of the wilderness, that's what this commemorates. Us going through the wilderness and staying in tents or booths or tabernacles, however you want to say it. Okay, as we moved around the wilderness coming out of Egypt. Okay, for 40 years we did that, right? But then also, what did it do? It set us up to go into the promised land, the land flowing with milk and honey. Okay, and there's different situations where that happened. Okay, where the Most High continued to do that same similar thing. Okay, so I'll start with this in Leviticus 23. Lord willing, this will be edifying, and I'll build from there. Like I said, Lord willing, it's edifying. It says, Leviticus 23, verse 34, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, the 15th day of this 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles, for 7 days unto the Lord. Okay, on the first day, so basically, just to understand what's happening, is going to say it. We're basically, once you read all of this, I'm going to read it anyway. We're basically, we come up 3 times a year. Okay, this is one of the feasts: the Passover, the Feast of Weeks, and then the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay, these 3 feasts, particularly this one, we come up here and we pretty much camp out and barbecue. I'm just gonna say it plainly like that. I mean, there's more to it than that, but that's kind of how we did it. Okay, commemorating when we went around the wilderness and we had the quail and we had the manna cakes and the water. Okay, but it's commemorated differently, of course, right? So, verse 35, I'll just read through it. It says, on the first day shall be an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. Okay, it's a Sabbath. It's the 15th day, right? It says on at the full moon. It says 7 days shall ye offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. On the 8th day shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord Yahweh. Okay, which the name Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. It says, it is a solemn assembly, and ye shall do no servile work therein. Okay, the 8th day is also a Sabbath, right? These are the feasts of the Lord which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord Yahweh, a burnt offering and a meat offering, a sacrifice, a drink offering, everything upon his day. Besides the Sabbaths of the Lord, and besides your gifts, and besides all your vows, and besides all your free will offerings which ye give unto the Lord. Okay. Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when there have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep a feast unto the Lord 7 days. Ye on the first day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath, right? Ye shall take on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook, and ye shall rejoice before the Lord Yahweh your power 7 days. Ye shall keep it a feast unto the Lord Yahweh 7 days in the year. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. Ye shall celebrate it in the 7th month. Ye shall dwell in booths 7 days. All that are Israelites born shall dwell in booths. Okay? that your generation may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord Yahweh your power. Okay, so that's pretty much going over um, the Feast of Tabernacle. Okay, of Tabernacles, right? And that's in the purposes of it and how to do it. Okay. Now you get into Numbers 29, it goes deeper into the specifics. Okay, it summarizes it again in Deuteronomy, um, um, was it 19, something like that. If I may be 16, I don't recall exactly, but it's in there. But this was setting us up to go into the promised land. Okay, so we would appreciate the promised land. Okay, and we would keep all these things we rehearsed 40 years, and then we'll keep it in the promised land. You know, it didn't go as smoothly as that sounds, but that was pretty much the setup. Now, when you know that we would go into the land, all right, because we went through dealing with Canaan and you know and all of the Philistines and so on and so forth, and then we came and took the land. Okay, now, and there was the choice land, right? We all know that. Now, when you look at other situations where that was a setup, it happened with Abraham. Okay, we walk out on faith and we get through the regular situation, so to speak. I hate to call it regular, and to come into a glorious situation. All right, so let me get it. Genesis 12:1. Yes, and now the Lord Yahweh has said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee, and I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. Okay, but he has to leave his father's house to do that. Okay, he has substance in that house, right? It was going to say it. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abram departed as the Lord Yahweh had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. Right? And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth into the land of Canaan, and in the land of Canaan they came. Okay, well, they went out and stepped out on faith. Okay, so you leave a so to speak a I don't want to say comfortable, but you know, you leave a certain situation where things are kind of set up for you. Okay, and there's a sense of comfort in those things that you know what it is. You step out with the Lord, and then you gain the more. Okay, because we know after Abraham, you know, he begat he became, well, he was blessed and became Abraham. His wife Sarai was blessed and became Sarah. Okay, major foreparents, okay, of the children of Israel. Okay, and then they begat Ishmael and Isaac. In that situation, Isaac begat Esau and Jacob became the progenitor of the 12 tribes. Okay, which that's where the promises went. Okay, so he grew from the substance he had in Haran, in his father's house, and he went out and saw the land of Canaan, that he would become a great nation in that land. Okay, so he went from, so to speak, a basic tabernacle going into the land of milk and honey. Abraham went from a place of ordinary, so to speak, and grew into a mighty nation, a blessed nation that the children of Israel would come out of. Okay, from there, Second Ezra chapter 7. All right, I'll start up at verse 3, I believe. Yeah, 3 is the point. Starts the point anyway. It says, and I said, speak on, my power, Then said he unto me, as Ezra speaking unto the angel, the sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great, but put the case, the entrance were narrow and like a river. Who then will go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? Okay, and going in the wilderness was a narrow way. Going into leaving Abram leaving Haran was the narrow way, and getting into the land flowing with milk and honey. Okay, and moving into this land where he will become a great nation and a blessed nation. Okay, these situations are very similar. Okay, no different than the walk we're in today. Okay, as we're given this wisdom in earthen, these riches in earthen vessels. Okay, this wisdom in earthen vessels. Okay, that we may appreciate it when we get to the kingdom of heaven. Okay, these terrible bodies, and learn how to discern and judge in these terrible bodies would only make us better and more appreciative and more understanding when we get into the kingdom of heaven. Okay, verse 6. There is also another thing: a city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. Right? The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water, and only one path between them both, that straight gate, right? Even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. Okay, now if this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he shall never pass the danger set before it, how should he receive this inheritance? Right? So these things, we're inheriting the glory and the power and the kingdom of heaven and all these, and the promises and all these things, to be joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. Hey man, don't we know how? Matter of fact, I was gonna say that it would make us appreciate the inheritance and keep it. And this is Ecclesiastes chapter 7. I'll start at verse 10. Say not thou, what is the cause that the former days were better than these? For thou dost not inquire wisely concerning this. Wisdom is good with an inheritance, and by it there is profit to them that see the sun. Right? For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. And so together, wisdom and money, and this is what we're gaining by going through that first state, by living in the tabernacles in the wilderness. By stepping out on faith and obedience, and going into and trusting in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to go into a land, and to let all these things, let the Most High work with all these things. Okay, work all these things in us. Okay, but the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. Okay, because look, you can have all the money in the world, you can have all the riches in the world, but if you don't have wisdom, you don't know what to do with it. You can give a Jake right now. You can give a nigga right now. Look, matter of fact, Dave Chappelle did a skit on his Chappelle show with reparations, which that's constantly in the news and all of this, right? But what do niggas do with it? And in his skit, nothing long term and meaningful. The most meaningful or long term thing that in the skit was Jake started record labels, which we know that's not long term. One Jake bought a truck of cigarettes full of cigarettes. Another they took up stock in KFC and simple shit. Okay? So what good is all of this stuff? Would your inheritance be? You're just going to end up as the prodigal son. Okay? If you don't have the wisdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and stay constantly connected to that. Okay? So good to walk with the Most High. Okay? Which we didn't have that that ability, you know, until the second covenant is initiated. Okay, that's when we'll have the ability to walk with the Most High, where He'll write His spirit and His wisdom within us, and we'll have the glorified bodies to go with it. Right? It's gonna keep coming up. Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 13. Better is a poor and a wise child than an old and foolish king, who will no more be admonished. Okay? For out of prison he cometh to reign. And it's funny, we become newborn babes and born again. Okay? To gain this wisdom. So we can be fresh and sponges again to be admonished. Okay, there's another one in this book that says, come to the Lord while there be in thy youth. Matter of fact, let me grab it. This is a couple chapters over. Bear with me. Yep. Verse 12, Ecclesiastes 12 and 1. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Okay, where we can still be effective in us. Okay, so let's go back. Which I'll read it again, verse 13. Better is a poor, this is chapter 4, verse 13. Better is a poor and a wise child than an old and foolish king, who will no more be admonished. Right? For out of prison he cometh to reign. Okay? We're leaving the old estate and coming into a better estate. From prison into reigning. And that's us in this situation. If we can judge wisely in prison, how much more in the kingdom of heaven and when we reign. A couple of things are coming to mind. It says, whereas also he that is born in his kingdom becometh poor. Yeah, a lot of people squander their riches because they don't have the wisdom. Okay? I thought of something. Let me grab it. Luke 16, verse 10. Okay, he that is faithful in that which is least, he that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. And he that is unjust in the least is unjust also in much. Okay? So this is why we're going through this, that we can become righteous in least. And then, as it just said, riseth from out of prison into reign. Okay? As kings and priests, right? If therefore ye have not been faithful in the unrighteous mammon, who will commit to your trust the true riches? Hey, right now you ask some of these Jakes, man. Right now you just told Jake, yeah, you come into this thing and you'll get all this power. You'll be like the X-Men and Superman and God, and you say all these things. First, what you think Jake gonna want to do? Jake gonna want to use the power for on their own tip, man, on their own behalf. Okay, Jake ain't gonna think like King Solomon thought. Okay, if he had a blessing or he had a wish or something, Jake gonna I want all the money. He ain't gonna think to be the owner of everything and to reign, and to be wise, to rule the people, and that the people will be, and they be close to the most. So they ain't gonna use their mind to think like that. Jake be like, yeah, I want the baddest honey with the best car and the most money, and they just start thinking of all these biggest house, simple shit, still in greenbacks, just still earthly things, okay? And this is why we also got to come out of that simple mind of the flesh and come into a higher level of a heavenly spiritual mind state, okay? And verse 12, and if ye have not been faithful in that which is another man's, who shall you that which is, who shall give you that which is your own? Hey, that's a good lesson. If you want things even in this world, I was taught, hey, if you want something for yourself, man, take care of somebody else's first. How you treat, so if you treat what you got now, like SHIT, like I say a car, if you don't keep your car washed and keep it clean, why do you think you deserve a better car? If you don't give it oil changes and all these other things, why would, if you don't put the time and energy to take care of it, why would the Heavenly Father give you something more or something better? Okay. From there, Proverbs chapter 28, start at verse 6. I'm gonna jump around a little bit. Right, it says, "Better is the poor that walketh in his uprightness than he that is perverse in his ways, though he be rich." Okay, it's better that we learn this thing and to be upright when we don't have much. So when we're given much, we'll be able to well, matter of fact, it says right here, "Whoso keepeth the law is a wise son, but he that is a companion of riotous men shameth the father." Okay? Meaning you ain't using the money for the right things. All right? You're going to squander it off. Verse 8, he that by usury and unjust gain increaseth his substance, he shall gather it for him that will pity the poor. Yep, to someone else. The rich, verse 11, "The rich man is wise in his own conceit, but the poor that have understanding searcheth him out." Right? And these proverbs just go on and on and on. Yep. Okay. Proverbs 30 now, it says, in verse 8, it says, "Remove from me," this is an important one, right? This is the proper mind state, right? "Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me," just enough to keep me on track of understanding. And when you get into to Ecclesiastes, the vanity of vanities, it shows you that all that you do is vanity, unless you walk with the Lord and you just walk in your lot. Not to be all caught up in comparing yourself to the next person. Oh, Job got all this, man. He got, be all off into somebody else's business, man. Just walk in your lot. You never know. It is an easy thing in Sirach, I think the 11th chapter. It's an easy thing in the day of one's death to, on the sudden, to make a poor man rich. That man's judgment to make a poor man rich. Okay, so these certain things we got to consider. That this is another situation the Most High is taken from the basic situation to give us the glorious situation. Okay, it says, "Lest I be full and deny thee," okay, "and say, Who is the Lord Yahweh? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my God Yahweh in vain." Okay, you be upset with the Lord. You don't honor him because you got it. But then when you don't have it, you steal and be like, "Man, he ain't wherein hast thou loved us?" From Malachi, right? Written in the book of Malachi. All right. I think I may have highlighted another one. Nope. So let's go from there. Back in 2nd Ezra 7, I'll start back up at 9. It says, "If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it," right, in the tabernacles, in the booths, in the wilderness, to go into the land flowing with milk and honey. Abram leaving what he had to go on to the land of Israel, to go into a land to where he would become a great nation, and then eventually sprout the patriarchs and the children of Israel, all the way down into King David and King Solomon, all the way to the kingdom of heaven. All this was a promise given unto Abraham way back in the beginning, right? It says, "And I said, It is so, Lord. Well, if he shall never pass the danger set before it, how should he receive this inheritance? And I said, It is so, Lord," right? "Then said he unto me, Even so is Israel's portion." All right, this is for our people as well, "because for their sakes I made the world. And when Adam transgressed my statutes, Then was decreed that now is done, that we go down into what? These earthly tabernacles, these earthly vessels, these chains of darkness. Let me get that. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 4, for if the Most High spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down into hell and delivered them into hellish conditions, right? And delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment. Okay? Those that were not meant to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. Okay, was one I thought of. Another was what was the other I thought of? He have made servants to walk upon I've seen servants on horses, and the princes to walk upon earth as servants. To roughly paraphrase, I believe that was in Isaiah. Okay, so we've been on the low position in the earth, so we can understand and judge wisely when we become in the top position, the rulership position in the earth, forever. Okay, we're rehearsing the righteous acts now, because when we get them perfectly, we'll have that mind of being perfect. Okay, we'll have that connection, knowing that everything that we do in this life, everything, no matter what a state we be in, that we walk with Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai, man, and it's a wonderful life. It's enough to rejoice over. Okay, yeah, you want balance, you want to eat, and matter of fact, Paul said it in the book of Philippians. Yeah, wow. Wow, yep. Verse 11, I'll just read from there. Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatever state I am, therewith to be content. Okay? I know both how to be abased, to be low and not have it, and I know how to abound. I know how to be, because what happened in the wilderness, Jake in the wilderness was complaining. We just came out of Egypt and we had all these miracles happening, and there were still miracles continuing. All kinds of miracles and signs. When Moses was talking to the Most High, getting our law, statutes, and commandments. Okay, he was raining down manna, which is food out of heaven. Don't ever gather none up because we don't need it. It's always going to be some fresh for us. Okay, we want meat. Okay, well, I got quail from you, fresh quail every day. Don't gather it up. Well, we thirsty. Well, I'm gonna smoke the rock, put the wood in it, and it's gonna come out sweet. And man, all these wonderful situations happening for us that the Most High is doing. Anyway, well, he smoked the rock and we had water out of it. Hey, and we still complained. We didn't appreciate. We walked through 40 years and our shoes and our clothes never wore out. We had all these miracles happening for us and didn't appreciate it because we were walking with the Most High at that time. We still, it says in second Esdras, the 7th chapter. No. Yeah, the seventh chapter, the ninth verse, the 9th chapter, the 7th verse. Excuse me, where it says those that now have abused my way and loathed my law have received benefits, but let me get it. Yeah, I'll start at verse 10, even though 9 is a part of the point. Matter of fact, I'll read 9. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. For such in their life have received benefits and have not known me, and they that have loathed my law while they had yet liberty, and when as place of repentance was open unto them, understood not but despised it. Okay, we didn't appreciate it as a people. Okay, when we had the booths, and we had the Ark of the Covenant, we had all these things with us, and we didn't appreciate it. Okay. We had the temple. We had it set up to where we can go to the priest. Man, we had everything set up, and we didn't appreciate it. Okay? The Most High would protect us. We were getting in battles and whatnot. protected and didn't appreciate it. All right. So this is a lesson to appreciate whatever state we may be in. And didn't it say that in Sirach 2? Let me get it. I'll go right to the point. Matter of fact, I'll start at verse 3. It says, "Cleave unto him and depart not away." Is Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 2, verse 3. "Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end." Okay, that the later estate will be greater than the previous estate. Okay, "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, whichever estate you may be in, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate." Okay, we have to appreciate that, hey, whether we don't have it or we got it all, that the Most High be with us. Okay, we got to pray and hope the Most High be with us. Okay, and that, for let's say, matter of fact, real quick before I go too far away from this, verse 5: "For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity." Okay, meaning we got to go through it to get to it. All right, in that previous estate, sometimes it's the low. Okay, sometimes it's just an all right situation. It's better than we think. But when we get into them, now we understand and honor it and respect it. It's a higher level. Okay, let me get this. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 6. "But godliness with contentment is great gain." Okay. All right. That's what we're really looking for. Whatever estate we may be in. Okay. "For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain that we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content." Okay? Because as you read down these next few verses, without the wisdom and the connection to Yahweh Shemi Shai, hey man, we're just gonna squander it off. Okay? We're gonna fall. It goes into it, falls to diverse lusts and situations. Okay? So many other things. But godliness with contentment is great gain. So even if we're broke and we love the Most High, He's got us in that lower state now, or when we get to the kingdom, okay, and He gives us the glory and the power and the rulership and all of that, to be content, and that's great gain. To keep the same mind, okay? Okay, so back in Philippians 4, I'll read verse 11 again. "Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content. I know both how to be abased, and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Hamashiach, which strengthens me." Okay? So it's the mental mind changeover of appreciation, of understanding. Okay? So now I'm back again in 2nd Ezra chapter 7. Okay. 11 again. "Because for their sakes I made the world, and when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done." Okay. "Then were the entrances of the world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail, but they are but few and evil, full of perils and very painful. For the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure, and brought immortal fruit." Okay? "If then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them." Okay, what's laid up for us? Yep. The things that are laid up, right? Yep. Is first. It's not only this, but First John. Excuse me, not First John. This is just John 14. I start at verse 2. "In my Father's house are many mansions." Okay, if we appreciate the life we have in this world, being in on earth, okay, being in this lower state of chains of darkness in this body, terrible, and so on and so forth. Okay? If it were not so, I would have told you, I go to prepare a place for you. So there's even a greater place beyond rulership here on earth. Just being on earth is a better place. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. And whither I go, ye know, and the way ye know. And he even showed us the way to get there. Okay? And he even got the victory over death, which is part of the way to get there. Matter of fact, let me go to 1 Corinthians 15:42. It says, so also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption. It is raised in incorruption, showing you the duality, right, of the previous to the upgrade, so to speak. It is sown in dishonor. It is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness. It is raised in power. It is sown a natural body, these chains of darkness. It is raised a spiritual body, extraterrestrial, the glorious body like Yahweh. There is a natural body and there is a spiritual body. Okay, jump down a little bit. I'll read it in 52. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. Okay? All right? It says, for this corruptible must put on incorruption from one state to the next, out of that wilderness into our own land. We didn't have our own land. Okay? But that promise was given to Abram, that if he walked out there on faith, he would inherit this and become a mighty and great father of many nations. And the same with us. We walk out on faith, stepping out to do this work, and we inherit it also by keeping these statute laws, rehearsing these statute laws and commandments to the best of our ability, and these things yield profit, and power and glory. Okay? It says, for this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So out of these weak, terrible mortal bodies into immortal bodies. Okay? I'll read it in 54. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. Okay? This is where we're trying to get to. Okay? We're now in the booths, but we're trying to get to the land flowing with milk and honey. We're now in these chains of darkness. We're trying to get to the celestial tabernacle, the glorious tabernacle, the heavenly, to bear the image of the heavenly. Okay? We go from just being here on earth to going interdimensionally, even into these other mini mansions, these other planets. Okay, we go from driving cars and having these little toys, these little things on earth taken away, to having to work and all of that, to not having to work and having chariots, and man, glorious, man. Not to being able to enjoy our kids, and to being able to truly see generations of family be born through your loins and really get to live and enjoy them. Okay, all the different spirits that come through your family line. Okay. Let's see, and I'll just read this one. I was gonna just let it slide, but I'll read it. I did pull it earlier, whether I tied it in or not. 1 Kings chapter 3. This is what King Solomon asked for. So when we get to the upgrade, if you will, that we have the right mind state. What good is it if you were driving a bucket? I'll just say it this way: if you were driving a bucket, car problems, the heater don't work in the car, it don't go fast, always the gas guzzler, just a terrible vehicle, or you don't, or worse, don't even have a vehicle. Okay, and then somebody give you whatever car your heart's desire, a Bentley or I don't know, one of these concept cars or something crazy, something nice, something really nice and expensive. Hey man, how you gonna treat that? How you gonna understand how to use it? How you gonna appreciate it, right? Well, this was the mind state Solomon had when he was given the rulership. When he was given the blessing, he was like, well, okay, if I have a blessing, we're gonna say it. Excuse me. Yep. I'll go straight to the point. Verse 9, 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 9. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people? That's what he asked for. And this speech pleased the Lord Yahweh, that Solomon had asked this thing. And Yahweh said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither has asked riches for thyself. And that's why the movie Bruce Almighty is something, you might want to check that movie out. It's a spiritual movie, because that mind state that Bruce had was like an Edomite, man. He just wanted to do for himself. He was only thinking about himself the whole time. God gave him powers in that movie. Okay? And the world was going to SHIT. Everyone around was going to, and he lost the love of his life and all of this. All of it was going bad. Okay, all the news he had to report on was all bad news. Okay? The world was in a terrible state when he had the power, right? It says, neither has asked for riches for thyself, nor has asked the life of thine enemies, but has asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. And that's what we want on this side. This is what we're going through this for. We don't have the distractions of millions of dollars and rulership over so many great, vast, governed lands and so on. We don't have all of that. Okay? Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any rise like unto thee. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor. Because you can have riches without honor, man. Those don't always come hand in hand. Okay? Understanding and discernment don't always come together as well. So to have understanding, discernment, wisdom to judge the people in righteousness, okay, riches and honor, right? He got it all. So that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. And if thou wilt walk in my ways, again, being with the Most High is how you achieve all of this. This is what he's given us when he initiates that second covenant. But we have to be into it now. We have to look at that as the goal now, right? To keep my statutes and my commandments as thy father David did walk, then I will lengthen thy days. Okay? And that was pretty much the point. It's just about the mind state, man, of being appreciative of the low that we're in now and how great it'll be in the time to come. We're in a certain state now, that it will grow into a greater upgrade. Okay, we will be upgraded, man, but we'll appreciate it. We won't abuse the power when we're giving it. We're gonna be balanced. Okay? And we starting that process now. A lot of, like I was saying earlier, a lot of Jakes, if they had the power to, the new bodies now, Jake would go on there destroying shit, man. Beating up Edomites and whatever else. Taking stuff, abusing the power. I never forget, I was in Boston for a Passover, and it was funny, it's one of the baked beans, they wanted strength. Yeah, I want strength and a bust of Edomite head open. But then the head of the camp, Adama, he was like, I just want the power to heal somebody. He wasn't even thinking about himself. He was thinking to heal other people. And brothers I had a vein. I want to be able to fly and whatever else. But when he thought healing, man, it changed my whole mind state. How glorious a thought that was. It was humble like what Solomon asked for. I want to use this power to help others. Okay, so anyway, Lord willing, this was edifying, man. I just want to go over something that I thought about and was thinking of, coming into this feast, as it's now ongoing for the next few days, throughout the week here. Um, that we understand this lower state that we're in now is just a state to be appreciative in. Why we do what we gotta do to get to where we're going. Where we're going to the kingdom of heaven, and to keep a balanced, content mind state going from this state into the next. Okay, that when we get into that next, we keep that same contentment. Okay, so Lord willing, it was edifying, giving all praise and glories unto Yahweh, Bashim Yahshai, Bashim Rachak Wadash, that belong to our apostles, the bishops, the elders of the great millstone, and greetings, salutations, blessings, much love unto you, hopefully elect into the next one. Shalom.